We know that a lack of physical activity can lead to all kinds of health problems: cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, colon cancer, diabetes, you name it. So what's the solution, right? Just constantly be physically active. Well, not so fast. There is another component. There's a few components of health and fitness that we need to pay attention to. One of the ones that is most misunderstood and often overlooked or completely ignored is recovery. This week on the podcast, we are talking about recovery, being more intentional with your recovery, and understanding that your recovery is a part of your training. You cannot separate the two. Welcome back. JEB in Flow here on the Street Parking Podcast channel. Let us start with a couple of deep breaths just to kind of bring you to where you are right now. So close your eyes, sit up straight, take a deep breath in all the way down into your belly. Let it out slow. Do that 2 more times. Breathe in, feel your belly expand, feel your rib cage expand. And let it out slow. Last one, even deeper, bigger belly, broader rib cage. Breathe high up into the chest. Hold it for just a second or two, maybe a little sip of air more. And let it go. And here we are. Okay. Good to have you here. I've got a good one for you today. And it's really all about recovery. So you may have noticed that the coaches and myself, we have transitioned. We've been going hard on the warm-ups, and it's been so cool to see more people integrating the warm-ups into their workout sessions and having some fun with them and getting a little creative with them. And we've gotten creative, and we've got some new warm-ups that will be coming onto the website and in our software so that you'll actually be able to see the demos on members only and that kind of thing. So be on the lookout for that. And, you know, as if you've been listening to this, if you've been listening to our message, warming up is super important. Now, there's another thing that is also equally as important on the back end of things, and that is recovery. If you think about fitness, right? Fitness, depending on the definition, depending on the field, like in the field of biology, for example, fitness is an organism's ability to survive and reproduce in a particular environment. And that is it. That has some carryover into the realm of physical fitness. Perhaps that will improve your chances of survival and maybe even your chances of reproduction. But I think we can narrow that definition a little bit. So physical fitness really refers to the ability of your body systems to work together efficiently to allow you to be healthy and perform the activities of daily life. The activities of your daily life might be slightly different than the activities of someone else's daily life, but the movement patterns required by your daily life are almost universal. We all need to be able to pick things up. We all need to be able to squat down. We all might need to be able to sustain an elevated heart rate for a period of time. Those are universal demands. Another way that we can look at fitness is readiness, right? Are you fit to accomplish or achieve or face a task that's been placed in front of you? Recovery comes into play when we kind of overdo the preparation part, right? We want to think about, oh, I've got to train, I've got to pick this thing up that's really heavy a bunch of times really fast and run really hard and do all this stuff. And then I got to do the same thing tomorrow and I got to do the same thing the next time because I'm getting fit. Well, there's this diminishing returns when it comes to physical work. And how this works, without getting too deep into the science, but if you want to improve your fitness, your general physical readiness, you need to apply stress. You need to put your body under stress. And that takes the form of heavy loads, moving those loads, traveling long distances faster, a little bit beyond what you think your current threshold is, moving your body in ways that challenge you, that expand your comfort zone or your skill set, right? So it's moving beyond your capability. And when you do that, your body undergoes this new sensation. It has this new response because there's this added stress that it's not used to. It needs to recover from that stress. We talk about physical adaptations. You're adapting to these stresses, right? Well, that adaptation takes place in the recovery process. Sure, there's neurological things that are happening, like the firing rate that is required when you produce power. If you have to pick something up heavy, like a clean, if you have to do a clean and pick up something heavy, get it to your shoulders, move around it fast. Well, there's certain things that need to take place in the moment, in the action of performing that clean, that really like necessitate an adaptation right there in the moment. But in terms of the stress placed on your muscles, your connective tissue, your bones, your joints, your ligaments, and even your central nervous system, that requires a certain dose of recovery. Think about this. If fitness, so much of it is focused on exercise, and then the number two thing is nutrition. And we all know, you've heard the saying, you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet, and you can't diet your way out of being completely sedentary. So those are two really big components. Of course, not trying to take anything away from that, but there are other components that are essential. Sleep, hydration, stress in the form of not necessarily physical stress, but stress with job, family, all that kind of stuff. Managing that. And then there is recovery. I don't know if I said hydration, but obviously hydration is a big part of that as well. So if you take those parts out, if you don't drink water ever, how fit can you really be? If you sleep 4 hours a night, how fit can you really get? And how is that lack of sleep affecting your ability to do work, ability to recover, ability to do all kinds of other stuff? That'll actually affect your nutrition. And we can make a point to sleep 8 hours a night. We can make a point to drink 80 ounces or however much is the appropriate amount for you to drink of water every day. There's this quantifiable number that you can come up with, and you can do it. And you can exercise 4, 5, 6 days a week, whatever. You can meal prep, and you have your macros, and you know the amounts of everything, your caloric intake, your basal metabolic rate, all that fancy stuff, right? So there's very quantifiable, actionable, measurable things that you can use to manipulate to improve your fitness in those other areas. Recovery is one of these things that has just become, sort of always has been, very vague. And sometimes it's even arbitrary. Like, oh, I don't really feel like working out today, so I'm going to take a rest day. Or what am I, this is the day that I'm not working out, so that's all I'm going to do is just like not work out. For some of the folks that are a little bit I don't know, maybe more type A, I guess you could say, where working out is just something that they feel like they have to do. It's almost a compulsion. Taking a rest day is very, very difficult. And for people that don't have that problem, working out maybe is a little bit more difficult. So taking these rest days and managing them and being more intentional with them, whether you are the type A type or the non-type A, type B type, knowing what you are trying to get out of your recovery, why you are recovering, and what you're going to do for your recovery will definitely help. And it will help with the consistency of your workouts as well. Recovery is essential. Recovery is fitness. Recovery is part of your training. So if you are not recovering, if you are not actively participating in a program of physical and mental recovery, your training is incomplete. And like I said, the adaptations of a large portion of the adaptations that occur from training, from actual performance of work, those adaptations take place during the recovery process. That is when your tissues remodel and repair and build back up stronger so that you can then apply more stress. But if you don't let that happen and you just keep piling on the physical stress, things break down. They do. And I sometimes hear folks say like, oh, well, I've been doing this for 5 years and I haven't hurt myself yet and I feel great. Well, cool. Let's see what it looks like in 10 years. Like at some point, just because you haven't messed yourself up yet doesn't mean you're never gonna do it. And you don't need to, have the Chicken Little approach where you're thinking the sky is falling. You gotta be afraid of every little thing, but it is a fact that recovery is an essential part of your training and that a lack of recovery increases your risk of a host of all kinds of other things. So, what is the difference between, let's say, there's two things I really want to kind of talk about here. Active recovery days and full-on rest days. And also, like, what else you should do on those rest days. So active recovery would be kind of like a move day. By the way, definitely check out on members only, if you're a Street Parking member, on the members only website, the Unlocked series of newsletters. It's in the Learn section, I believe. There's one called Rest Days. It's a really great article that Miranda wrote, and it's all about rest days, what to do on your rest days, how many rest days you should be taking. It's different depending on who you are, how long you've been training, how old you are, all kinds of little factors. But it will really help you inform how you should be approaching your rest and your recovery. So I highly recommend you check that out. Anyways, you've got things like your active recovery would be not working out with intensity, but still moving your body a little bit. So maybe you go for a long walk, ride your bike around, play with the kids, do some maintenance, that kind of thing. And then a rest day is just that, a day where you completely rest. The rest day is not a cheat day. You could make it a cheat day if you wanted, but I would advise against that. So a rest day, I think you probably will enjoy the rest day more. If you're somebody that feels like, oh, I'm losing my fitness because I'm not working out, I don't like taking rest days. Well, if you use that rest day to read, to learn a new skill, to do some kind of activity with family or friends, so you're not just like laying on the couch eating chips and watching Netflix all day, because that is actually not a rest day. That's going to mentally provide a whole mess of other problems, in my opinion anyways. But that's a different topic, I suppose. So about rest days and cheat days. It's fine to have a day where you treat yourself and you eat something that's probably terrible for you, but you enjoy it because it tastes good. Let's be honest, we all have those things that are delicious that we want to indulge in from time to time. Cool. I would recommend that you do that treat meal on a day that you're actually training. And on your rest day, when you do nothing, eat right, drink enough water, do all the other things. If you think about these different components of fitness, exercise, nutrition, sleep, hydration, recovery, stress management. If you're taking one of those components out, like exercise, and that's a key component, if you're taking that out, well, then those other components should definitely be present. And that will really help you feel good about taking a rest days, feel good about not losing your fitness and not having to worry about that. And it will really help kind of sustain you so that when you show back up on your workout day, on your intensity day, you'll be able to deliver that intensity and you won't feel sluggish and slow and bloated and whatever you might feel, hungover, who knows, right? So the action item for this week is just that. It's to really be intentional with your recovery. And this shouldn't be an action item for the week. This should be a habit that you develop, that you carry with you. But let's take this week to start to integrate that into the lifestyle. Be intentional with your recovery. Plan your recovery. So what does that look like? Well, the first thing would be to replace your workout time with something else. So if you normally work out, let's say at 7 a.m., and you work out at 7 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you're going to take a rest day. Well, Thursday, do something else at 7 a.m. Replace that workout with something else. If it's more of a move day, I highly recommend checking out some of the street parking maintenance videos. And there's a whole array of different sort of intentions behind the sequences. So if it is kind of a move day, maybe you do one of the more active sequences. If it's more of a rest day, check out like the decompression sequence, stress relief, sleepy time is a really good one. They're super chill, they're super mellow, and all they are is just taking your body into some passive stretches. It's very restorative. It's great for those tissues that do need recovery. And you're still staying consistent. You're still on a schedule, and you're still training because recovery is training. So you're not falling off anything. So you make your recovery just part of the deal, right? Plan it out, make it intentional. And if it's like a full-on rest day and you don't want to do maintenance, you could cruise around on the bike, go for a walk. Like I said, meal prep is a great thing you could do. But be intentional. If there's one thing you take away from this, be intentional with your recovery. Take this week, take a look at your recovery habits. Are they just arbitrary and random? Do you have bad habits that replace your recovery? Can you, or bad habits that you do on your recovery days, can you start to work some of those out and reframe your perspective towards recovery? The coaches and I have been going hard on the warm-ups, and you've probably seen us start to transition towards recovery, and you'll see us go hard on the recovery. So definitely check out myself, Alex, Maisie, Seb. We're going to be posting almost daily on what we do for recovery, both post-workout and on our recovery days. I I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next week. Talk to you later.